absolutely. I said I was very nervous for Cooked, and that was a very big build-up. But the nerves that I had for NCIS Sydney, I've never had, ever. Okay. Like that, I will never forget the day of going in there. So being a Canberra actor, I've been with my agent for a long time. She's looked after me, but ever since the start, when I signed with her, back when she said, I want to represent you as a Sydney actor. Yeah. Nothing's coming to Canberra, all that jazz and stuff like that. And so to Sydney casting directors, I am from Sydney. So it's really easy for me to get in there tomorrow and do the audition or whatever. So the toughest part is that they asked me to come to Sydney, and little do they know, I was in Canberra. They asked me to come for a haircut. Okay. And then I went home back to Canberra, and then a couple of weeks later they did a costume test. And I was like, okay, so I go out there, come home, and then I went for the shoot, and then it got rained out, so I went home, and then I finally came out. And so I think because over the course of like probably a month, I had something to do with it. Yeah. That it built up all of this anticipation. I was like, they've put in all of this work in for me. And I'm Sergeant Ethan Watts, who has 50 words or whatever. Yeah. So just imagine like all the stuff they put into like their big things. And so it just, it started getting to me. I get to Sydney. I was at, where was I? Oh, I was doing an AIE film that I was really passionate about. I love working with AIE. I think they have the best setup, obviously, in Canberra for that level of technology and stuff. And the kids that go to the school are kids. So they have so much wonder, and they want to push the boundaries, and they want to be big, and they want to do things that they usually can't. So it's really exciting, and it's really refreshing to go into a place like that. So I did their major project, but the next day I had to be in Sydney to film NCIS. So shout out to Dan Sigwinetti, who drove me to Sydney that night after we finished filming. So he really helped me out there. But I stayed at my mate's place, and I remember I was in the Uber, and a bit of TMI, but I'm a sweater. I run pretty hot.
Same.
God. Oh, when the nerves get kicked in, oh God. So I will never forget the wet I had down my shirt, just because I was stressed. I was in the Uber, and I was heading there. And obviously you don't want to be late, and you don't want to screw up. And this is the first time that I would be on set as a featured character doing something. And I had to, so I got dropped off, and it was a huge walk to set. So I didn't know what to do. I was like, should I call my mum? I was like, no, she'll be at work. I felt very alone within that area. But I put on, I think his name is Aloe Black, I'm the Man song. Yep. Repeated it just the entire way, and I put it on my headphones, and it wasn't helping, but it was. I was still incredibly nervous, but there was a sense of they chose you, go in and do your thing. I finally got there, and everyone was so lovely. I don't know if it is just America or if it's in the higher levels where it's really scary and intimidating, and people don't want you to succeed and everything like that, but that just wasn't the case on NCIS, which was really nice. My scene was with two of the main characters, and they were so cool. Okay. I forgot his real name now, but Deshaun in the show, he stuck to me, which was really interesting. We had this scene, and I was, like I said, it was 50 words, but him and I were really close, and he was talking to me the entire time, and he was telling me how great I was doing and stuff like that. And I just wasn't expecting such support on that day. And I was, being humble, and I was thanking him and everything. He goes, dude, just thank me when you're here. When you come back, this will be fine. He changed my entire aura that day. And I don't know if that even, if he even remembers that now. It was just another day at work for him. So yeah, he was really great. But I was lucky enough to, once the scene was done, I'll be honest, it took a while to do my scene, which was really nerve-wracking.
Why? What was the
It was an odd one. So the scene, essentially the two detectives rush in to me where I'm the guard of an army cell. So like when the Marines are being naughty, they'll get put in army jail.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting there, and there's meant to be someone in there, and I was American as well, which is always fun, a bit of an accent. But she goes, I can't remember what she says specifically, but she's like, "Where's this guy?" And I go, "Oh, I don't know, I think he's out." And then she interrupts me, and then I give a look like, "Yeah, you're right." And then they rush out of the room. And so in everything I've ever done, short film, in Cooked, on stage, you always just keep talking until they stop you, like the other actor. It's the other actor's job, usually, to jump in and go, "Ah," and then it stops you. And so it doesn't sound like you're like pausing, and waiting for it, because that's definitely not natural. But the director, he was very specific, and he wanted me to cut myself off, which was weird. But like, you know, the script said, you know, where I cut off. So I was like, cool, I'll just stop talking then. And so I would do it, and then she would jump in, and then he'd go, "Cut, do it again." And I was like, crap. And so then the nerves start really building up, because not only like are you in here, like the camera's on you, it's your take, and like, what are you doing? But yet again, I was very lucky that like I looked at the other actors, and they're like, "Don't worry about it." You know, and they say every director is different, and obviously they've worked with so many over the course of the series and stuff. And so it was really nerve-wracking, but we got there in the end, because he goes, "You know what, Zane? Just let her cut you off." And I'm like, "Yeah, sweet, let's do it."
That's what I said.
I know, dude. But no, that was his great idea. And that's it. That's it. That's all it is. But we did that once, which was hilarious, where I say my line, she cuts me off, and then it was done. You could have saved at least 15 minutes shooting. But it was a great experience. I got back in the Uber, and then I have this acting friend in Sydney who's he's quite successful in the commercial game. And he's been in a fair few movies, so he's definitely like someone to talk to when you're not sure about the industry, because he's just been there for ages. And he called me out of the blue, and he goes, "I heard you're on set today." And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "How'd it go?" And then I gushed about how amazing it was and everything. And he goes, "This is it, dude. This is the feeling that you'll be chasing for the rest of your life. When you know that you went there and you did a good job, and everyone was happy, and now you're happy, and this is fulfillment. This is why you do what you do." And I was like, "Oh, Ron." I was like, this phone call has made it even better.